Hello. Please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to reach
Marcial Rios. Hello?
Hi, Marcel.
Yes.
My name is Lee Bracker, and I think you were responding to a blog or a post that I had done on a blog. It says that you're a casting director for MTV.
Yes. So, which is the blog that do you run a blog or do you just post something?
Well, I've got 4 websites.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out which one it is. You're giving me, let's see, MTV.com casting calls, conspiracy theorist.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no reference here to what it is.
Sonar or, I have a list here of the people I've been hitting up.
Here, let me click the link, and I'm just going to
the New World Order. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No.
I'm in a Starbucks too, so I can't even hear myself.
So you said you have 4 different websites you said that you run?
Yes. I've got 3 that are conspiracy theory. Well, 2 of them that are conspiracy theory related. One of them is ancient civilizations and sciences behind antediluvium. And then my 4th one is just health and wellness, healings, where my start was.
Okay.
But, casting calls. What is it that you're doing?
Yeah. So this is what it is. Okay, so I'm a casting director for MTV, and we have a show called True Life. And True Life has been happening since 1998, so it's a long-running show, but it's a documentary series where, being MTV, we obviously kind of gear towards younger, so we're looking for someone between the ages of like 16 and 25. But we follow kids that have different outlooks in life, or they're dealing with different things. It could be like either an illness, or it could be like whatever. I mean, we've been since 1998, so we practically have done anything from like I'm a witch to I'm a vegan to anything. And 2 of the stories that we're working right now would be like we want to follow a young kid that is a conspiracy theorist, and that is very active and verbal about all that stuff. It could be on sometimes it's just on a particular subject, or it could be pretty much on everything, or the government, or whatever. And you mentioned the UFO thing. We want to do that one with that as well. So we're just looking for young people that are very passionate and that are able to articulate their beliefs, and to see what they do, how people treat them for having such ideas and stuff. And so I just wanted to know if there's any way that you could help me post, or if there's any type of advertisement that I could do on your website, or, I want it to be authentic. Of course, I don't, the way what our show is, we take people's stories very seriously, and it's about just showing, young kids a different perspective. Not everybody thinks the same. Not everybody, has this cool, awesome, like high school, the sport type of life. We all come from different parts and have different ideas, and that's what the show's about. That's what it's called, MTV True Life, and it's just, this is all different aspects of life, different ways of, doing things or living or whatever, So that's the idea of it. So I'm just trying to find, these kids. I was wondering if there's, anything where if, again, like if there's something that I could post, or if there's something that you could post for me, or if maybe even just directing me, or maybe you already know someone, that is young, that you seem very passionate. Mm-hmm.
I think I have a pretty good idea of what you're doing and what your needs are.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be more than happy to help you. But I have to ask you a couple of questions first.
Yes.
You were just given this job to do, this particular project to do, without having knowledge of conspiracy theories and who's behind them, and the radio shows and networks, and the people that go on speaker circuits and tours and conferences.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously the idea right now is that that's what I'm trying to do. I'm reaching out with, the community and understanding who everybody is and stuff. So no, they haven't, I'm a casting director. I cast from one of my biggest show that I do is Dr. Phil. It's Dr. Phil, but I've been casting for many, many years and different stories and different things. And again, this is not about me or my beliefs, even though I might share some beliefs with the people that we have on the show. It's about, again, getting the beliefs of the kids. I want to get all that information from this kid. Like, who is it that they believe? What do they think about conspiracy theories? Where does it come from? What, I'm trying to find that person that could actually explain to us what it is, through their story.
Okay. On a reality level, I'm gonna tell you this.
It's a documentary style. It's a little bit different than the reality. And like I said, if you've seen our show, we like literally follow these kids and what they do and all that stuff. So we try to be like a third wall on their lives.
Yeah.
If not, I'll be like casting here in LA and like putting posts in for actors and things like that. So that's not what I'm looking. That's why I want to find the real deal. And hence, that's why I'm reaching out to different people in the community to lead me to that person that's going to be authentic. And my job is actually to do that, to find this kid that's not going to be lying to me, that is actually, passionate about this and has something to say. So
the reason I asked you my question was in order to understand and know what you're hearing from these kids that you'll be interviewing. You have to know who the people are that are the, we'll call them the adults. The people that have been around the block and have done the work researching most of these things and have been, like I'm 53. I'm not a person that you'd probably want on your show, but I am a person that pretty much knows everybody. When you talk about George Norrie, Alex Jones, and all that stuff, those are the people that these kids would be listening to, and that they would be taking from their guests that they have on their show, regurgitating them, and then embellishing on them, and then not doing their research, but they would just assume that what they're hearing on these mainstream independent alternative news shows is the real thing. But what they're doing is they're barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to send you links to my website. And I recommend that you kind of take a look at some of the work that I do so that you will know what it is you're dealing with. I'm the top echelon conspiracy evaluator, I'm going to call myself. I'm not a theorist. I actually prove them right or wrong. So, you've heard about people talking about 9/11 for 16 years now. Nobody really knows what happened. They think they do, but I'm the one that really does know those kind of things. Okay. That when you get a kid who's talking about that, I just pulled out, the Trade Center Tower catastrophe just because I know you know about that.
Yeah, that's the biggest one, yeah.
Right, just as an example. They're not going to be knowing what they're talking about because it's all superficial. And
that's why it was important for me to kind of reach out to like the community, and so you guys could lead me to the right person, and and not just put anybody that has like a wacky idea or you know what I mean. I want to make sure that they're able to articulate their stories and are able to walk me through to this world.
Yeah.
And even I love that what you're telling me right now, how it's like it's not even about the theories, it's about I prove them right or wrong. I love that. Is there such thing? I mean, could there be such a person that's 22 that does something like that, or does that come with age?
Excuse me, could you repeat that?
I said I love what you said about that one of the things that you do is like prove a theory right or wrong, and is there anybody like at a younger level that would be able to do something like that, or is it something that just comes with experience?
You're asking the same question. I've been scouting around, for that.
Yeah.
The people that I need to reach are the same age group that you're looking for. And in order to do that, I have to get my radio show. I have a radio show that I had to shelve for a couple of years, but I'm going to relaunch it, and I'll give you that website. You can see what I'm doing there.
Okay.
But it has to do with the most recent conspiracy that nobody's even talking about it on the level that I'm at. It took 10 years to come up with the resolution that I did, Well, I'll say 5 years, but 10 years I've been in this thing, and it has to do with Hoover Dam. You saw the movie San Andreas, where they destroy a lot of the big. Well, they got the Golden Gate Bridge and everything else. But Hoover Dam is the reason why they had Jade Helm 15 here in the Southwest. Where are you living right now? Are you back east?
I'm in LA.
You're in LA, so when there's no more water left in Lake Mead, they've been reporting that. And that it's quite possible that certain technology out of Switzerland that they finalized in 2015, just last year, they're retrofitting that technology into the dam. It's no longer going to be a hydroelectric power plant. They're going to decommission it. It's not going to service electricity to San Diego, LA, and so forth. It's going to function as something entirely different. They're not telling anybody what it is, but I know what it is. So that's huge, and it's quite possibly going to be the next 9/11. I predicted it, I proved it, and I don't know how you got my name, but that's why I had to come
I've been doing my research. I'm like I said, I'm trying to kind of figure out, who the people that are legit and who it's all that stuff. Like I said, I didn't necessarily come with all the experience, and I think that's one of the greatest things that what I do is that depending on the show that I'm working on, I get invested in it, and I've done shows. I did a whole show about past lives, and now I feel like I'm an expert on it because I'm able to really learn from great people and stuff. But even what you're telling me right now, just because, I want someone that is younger doesn't mean that, I don't want people around that person I want to connect them with, even if it's like a family. Like, let's say if you had a kid that's around that age, and we could kind of go through the, like his or her point of view, but then, it's like, this is where it's all coming from, and this is who's directing it, and all that stuff. Or even being even if your kid doesn't believe in any of that stuff, but it's like, my dad believes in this stuff, and, this is what I deal with, or whatever, you know what I mean? So it doesn't have to be just that young kid in directing everything. It could be a group of people. Again, we do want to focus, just because it is on MTV, at a younger level. But we're open. The reality is that we don't even know if this show is going to be possible, or this particular episode.
We're making a pilot.
Something that no. The show's already going, but we have ideas of the different episodes that we want. We want to do a show with UFO. We want to do a show with this. It doesn't mean I'm going to find the right person for it. And then at that point, we just shelf that idea. You know what I mean? But I find it really fascinating. I find people are very passionate about, again, the different theories or whatever, and I just kind of want to make sure that, we do it right and that we find the right person for it. And like I said, if we don't just move forward with it. We just kind of shelve it and, see if later on, because the show's been on for so long, sometimes, you have an idea, but it doesn't really come through until a couple of years later you find the right person to do it,
Right.
But it is something that is in the priorities right now, and the episodes are working right now because we would want to make something happen. And like I said, sometimes, that's important for me to reach out to, someone like yourself that, again, that has the knowledge that could direct me, and that you could possibly already know someone that might be great for this. And again, and at the same time also incorporating you somehow, especially if this is your protege or anything like that, that's listening to your radio show or going through your files or whatever, that's how we could connect everything, because we obviously, the show is not just one person, but it's how what this person gets to, to get their information, who they relate with, sometimes even their parents, their parents are not supportive of their ideas, and
you can say that again.
Things like that. So, yeah. And that's the thing. It's sometimes how you're just a lone wolf, and everybody kind of thinks that you're an extremist for having such ideas. And that's what I want to explore. Again, depending on the person, I can't tell you the show's going to be like this, because I don't know. Once I find the person and I interview them and talk to them, I'm like, okay, this is the show's about this kid that does this, and this is what she or he is dealing with. And so that's what the idea is. But but yeah, like I said, I know I kind of caught you a little bit off guard, but I just wanted you to introduce myself and letting you know what we're doing. And, I'm sure it's important for us to get it right. And it's, and I'm sure, it'd be important for us to even get a show out like this, at a younger level, because, as this is one of the luxuries of, I guess, an MTV. I mean, most of the other shows that they have are just so brainless. And, we get to do something a little bit different with sometimes really strong topics, and really, really great, stories from people that you would never thought would, have an episode on this show. And it's just, it's just fascinating to see how, everybody owns experience and what everybody's doing and what everybody, and it's not just the same story. It's always different. But, and I believe actually one of our producers that we have for this show this season has worked on Ancient Aliens. So I think that's one of the reasons why we also kind of wanted to push something like this, is because of the expertise that they have.
I know each and every one of those guys. They're all sellouts too, by the way. They're not telling you everything. They're scripted to do what they do.
Oh yeah, I've seen my share of those shows, and it seems like it's always the same people, and yep.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do for you is I'll reply. Okay. I'll reply to this email, and I guess it'll be going directly to you. TLDOCC Casting.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And in the subject, I'll put my name, Lee Bracker. That way you know it's me.
Perfect.
That way you don't lose it. And in this reply, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you... I have to spoon feed you. You know why?
Yeah, no, of course.
What I have done is so massive, so big, that it can't be described in 5-10 minutes, half an hour.
Yeah.
It takes months in order to understand what's really happening. So I'll show you my current work, and I'll give you a listing of my websites, and you can kind of browse through a couple of articles. Everything that I do is not regurgitated material. I don't, post other people's work.
Great. This is all your stuff, yeah.
Except for on a rare occasion, if somebody has an important article, I'll repost it on my blogs. But it's all my research, and I talk to the top echelon, the top minds in the world. That's where I'm at.
That's great.
So I know what's going on, and I have to warn you, you may not like this. I
know.
I am the most...
sometimes ignorance is a bliss, you know what I mean?
The reason nobody knows me, and I'm surprised you even found me, other than stumbling onto one of my sites, is because I'm the most suppressed person there is in the truthing... I call it the truthing movement.
Yeah.
Nobody will have me on their shows. That's a given. I'm blacklisted and blackballed from everybody. Wow. The only person that really took me on ever was Jim Fetzer. He's kind of... But the thing is that there's a reason for that. It's because I'm telling the truth. Yeah. And what it's doing is describing why these... those that are conspiring to destroy and doing all this stuff and turning this world into a world order is highly detrimental to humanity. But they're going to achieve it, and the way they've done it was by infiltrating all of these, putting the wrong ideas in people's mind. While they look good on the surface, they're not entirely there. So that's why I kind of have to launch my own thing. Try to, the only way I can really do it is by going mainstream, but that's an impossibility. Now, MTV is mainstream, but I would be I'm going to guarantee you I'll be censored by your higher-ups. You can't have that going. But I'll help you and I'll direct you to where you need to go.
No, and that's the thing. I mean, I'm not sure how far we could take it, but, they hire me to do something, and I'm going to try to do it and make it as authentic as possible. You know what I mean? And that's, there is a possibility at the end. They're like, no, we don't want to do this episode and it gets scratched or whatever, But to me, it's like, they hire me to tell the story, and I want to find the most authentic way of telling it. And that's a good thing about our particular show, though. It's like we're not I don't work for MTV. I work for a different company that MTV like hires to do a certain amount of episodes and stuff. So we have a little more creativity when it's that. At the end of the day, they could decide to air the episode or not. But we do have creativity, and my boss here and everybody. We're just again, we don't even though we're part of the system, we're still not in the system. We still have our own minds and our own way, so we're not run by a big corporation. Literally my boss that pays me is the one that who I get to see every day. So it's not it's not BioCon or anything like that. But
well, don't be surprised if you get rejected. But during that time, you're going to get a very valuable education. You're not going to get it anywhere else. So. Yeah, and that's what I say. That's one of the things I like about my job is that I really do immerse myself with all these different people and ideas and all that stuff. And if anything, at the end of my life, I think I'll be a little more smarter, but just because of what I did. Mm-hmm. Terrific. Well, I'm glad we met. Yeah. Well, and I also believe that there's always a reason for it. So, I don't think it's a coincidence that I stumble into you. But yeah, definitely anything you could do for us. I'll look for your email, and then we'll take it from there. All right. What is your Skype, if you don't mind? My what? Do you have a Skype name? Hold on. It's on my thing. So I just opened it up. Do you ever use Skype? Hold on. I am, because in this particular group of people I'm working with, they all use it. So I just opened it up, but I still don't know. And then we'll even do our interviews through Skype as well. But hold on, let me just get my number, because I know it's not my regular name. Give me a second. Okay, so it's just my full name, Marcial Rios 007. So it's MarcialRios, and then 007. I had a different one with just my name, and I couldn't get it to it, like my password. So that's why I had to open this new one. I'm like, I know I added some numbers. I don't know what it was. But yeah, that's my Skype. Okay. Do you have a direct number to your line there at work? This is through my cell phone. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, you could give that to me when you're comfortable at another time. It's not a big deal. Yeah. As long as I can Skype. Yeah, the number that you're calling me right now is my cell phone, yeah. Okay. All right. And then let me see what else. Cool. I think I already have somebody in mind for you. I just thought of her. Okay. But she won't talk to me. She won't talk to me, but she's pretty good at what she does. If I give you contact information, she won't know that I'm connected, and she'll probably call you back. Yeah, okay, sounds good. And then you just tell me, like, what if I should just not mention you or whatever, and we'll work it that way. Yeah. I'll make it clear who you can tell that, my name. Okay. Perfect. That'll be great. Or not. Like, I don't want to get you in trouble or anything like that. No, it's a matter of them shutting down. Yeah, exactly. It's like they wouldn't want to. I've made a lot of enemies, I'll tell you. Yeah, that seems like that's how it works, huh? Yeah, it's unfortunate, but yeah. Anyway, okay, Marcel, are you from California? Perfect. I am from California. Yeah, from the LA. Yeah, I used to live there for a number of years back in the 80s and 90s. Yeah, I miss it out there, man. In LA. Well, I was living in Long Beach. I went to Cal State Long Beach and studied industrial design, and went up to Santa Barbara and worked for a while. And I was there until about 1990, the late 90s, and then I just moved back to Tucson. I'm calling from Tucson, Arizona. So I've been here most of my life, and it's just I really do like it. I'm glad that my parents decided I'll settle here, and I didn't have to move or anything like that. So, but I am from Orange County, so my parents are still in Santa Ana, and I just moved to LA, but it's not too bad. No, you're pretty close. Okay, my friend. All right, perfect. Thank you so much for your time, okay? And yours too. Bye now. Yeah, thank you. Bye.